Oh my God, I went live. We're live already, Tim. I don't know what I did here, but it's okay. No little whatchamacallit, nothing here. I gotta take all this shit off. All right, cool. We're good. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast. This is episode 71. I fucked up the whole introduction. I'm very sorry, guys. Um, this is UFC Vegas 79, and I'm with my co-host Timothy Troiano. Um, Fucking great main event here in the fight night card. What do you think of it, Tim? I mean, this main event is almost a pay-per-view worthy type of main event. That's how good it is. What do you think of this card?
I like the fight card, like from an entertainment standpoint. I think there's some good fights, like you said. I'm struggling to find like really good betting spots, so it'll be interesting to get your take on some things and maybe get me from the fence to some sides, or maybe make some bets. But I don't have anything played right now. But again, like I said, I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, that was some really weird introduction there. I was trying to do the countdown. I don't know what I did. I apologize to everybody. Yeah, let's have what. Love to hear what you have to say on some of these props here. It's kind of a tough prop card in my opinion. There's some weird fights. There's some fights that can go a lot of different ways. But we'll see. Yeah. Let me go over to chat. Shout out the chat, the best chat in the game. Higher Destiny. What is up, my man? MMA Goulash, Mushroom MMA, Sergio B. Let's fucking go, my friend. Dixon. Hola, sir. Hola. He says, hola, narco intimidate. Timoteo. Brown Butt says, tough card to beat. Curious as to what you guys can come up with. Yeah, we said that too. So that's we're right on point with us there. Smash the like Mushroom says. Aussie fight fan in the house. Money lines are for suckers. Let's fucking go. Kind of agree with that a little bit, because I do have some money lines. Shafiq, what's good, my friend? Mr. Jingles in the house. What is up? Becca, anyone on Fletcher? We will talk about that. Jackie Blaine, what's good? Just back from Paris. Couldn't bet on anything or watch UFC. Oh, man, that hurts. That hurts. I don't know if I could ever do that. Daz, what is up, my friend? In the house. Balboa Fight Picks. What's up, my friend? Joshua Frigg in here. Subhuman also in here. Matt Campbell, best in the business. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Mike Clavel also in here. Eric Albright, the dynamic duo, rides again. Yes, sir. Sean Gone, also in the house. Zen Monkey. Zen Monkey always puts the same exact emoji. I want to know what that is. That's soup. What's brewing over there with Zen Monkey? Do you know that, Tim?
I have no idea what that is.
What he has brewing over there? Craig Crowley, what is up, my friend? Who else do we have? I got to shout out everybody. Ice Viking. Hoping for some decent spot fights tomorrow. Let's find some spots, boys. Yes, sir. Forrest Daniels, what is up, my friend? Thank you for the late birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Kiwi Brew, Churt All. I think that's a new guy in here. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Glenn Bot, what is up, my man? Are you going to watch Lou Sassol in BKFC? Who's Lou Sassol?
Is he doing like the loose asshole thing?
BKFC. I don't even know who that is, but
I think he's trying to do the name game with you there.
Oh, okay, maybe. I'm so locked into this stuff. Plus 300 plays that hit. Yeah, we're gonna try. We'll see. 76 of you in here. Thank you very much. And with that being said, Tim, first fight of the night. It's in the women's bantamweight division. It is the 5-0 newcomer Montserrat Randone versus the 7-1 Tamaris Vidal. What do you got here, Tim?
I think this fight is a shit show. Really super low level, I think, from both fighters. I don't think that this is I really don't think that like either fighter is necessarily like super UFC level. I think that the fight could go like a couple ways. I'll let you do your one, I'll see if you agree with me on the one. And but I think like if Vidal gets the fight to the ground, I think that she's dangerous for a sub. So I think like if she's striking with her, it could be really close. I think Rendan's going to bring some more volume and a little bit more process, but they both are very hittable and they kind of both suck, like I said. the takedowns are, it's going to be really interesting. That's like for me, it's just like the takedown defense and how good it is. It's just like if she can get her down, I think Vidal is very likely to sub her. So I'll take Vidal by sub at plus 500. But I think it could go a different way too. So I'm interested to see what you think could happen here.
Yeah, I honestly, you said one thing that's very accurate. I think it's a shit show for the most part. Both girls are honestly not good. Like when you watch Tamara's Vidal, like absolutely get ragdolled by Eileen Perez in that fight. Obviously, it's a win on her column, but she was getting murdered in that fight. She has a win over Ramona Pascal, which means zilch to me, honestly. But when you watch that fight, him play out in the first round, like Ramona's like landing on her on the feet. And to be frank, like Ramona's got awful in the striking, and like she's landing some decent shots on Tamara's Vidal on the feet. Then she hits a step-in knee, which is really nice, stops her. One thing I don't like is I don't like her fight IQ for one, Vidal. Like she's dropping for heel hooks. I mean, she got it against that chick, but it's still not a good thing to do because you might end up on bottom. It's a very, very low type of submission, a heel hook. You're just not going to get it a lot. You're going to end up on bottom. So her fight IQ is a little bit questionable. The other side, I really don't like the tape either, honestly. Montserrat Randone, like, she's like spamming 1-2-3s on the feet, not a lot of power. She's kicking, she's tall, she's long, she's all those things, but she's just not very good on the feet. She throws a lot of volume, but like 3/4 of her punches are missing, or they're not really good. The other thing with her is like she's kind of faced low level of opposition, in the regionals. The one thing I will say that's pretty good for her is that when I watched that Brittany Cloudy fight, Brittany Cloudy is a big girl. She's tall, and she's a boxer. She's a good striker. She has good hands. And Randone kind of kept up with her in the striking, which is something that's decent to see in a girl like that, right? I think, like you said, if the fight gets to the ground, I kind of favor Vidal, but I don't think Montserrat is a fish out of water. Like, you see her grappling a lot. She has a lot of grappling under her belt. She's in grappling competitions. I don't think she's a fish out of water under the ground. The thing is, she's long, she's big. I don't think it's going to be easy to take her down, and she looks pretty physical. Like, she's muscled up. I think this fight's a shit show. Split decision is plus 350. It's also a shit number. Yeah. Split decision is a shit number. It's plus 350, but I'm going to say it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, split.
And random split.
I'm going to say this, which is funny. I bet Randone at plus 200, man. Not that I like her. I don't think she's a good fighter, but I don't think Vidal's a minus 280, 260 type of fighter either. So it's like, okay, I'm going to fade her with the bigger girl that looks in better shape, that's muscular. I'm going to take a chance, Maybe she gets starched. Maybe she gets killed. Randone does look tough, and she's Mexican, so take that for what it's worth. I'm going to give split decision 350. Lean a little bit Randone. Maybe she throws more volume.
11-1. 11-1 for her by split.
Yeah, and also Vidal's cardio is a little questionable, man. She was absolutely gassed against Eileen Perez in round 3.
That fight was just a lot of Perez trying to grapple her hard, though, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Different level.
I agree, but like Vidal just, I don't know. When you look at her, do you think this girl is actually like doing a lot of cardio? Like,
no, I think it's a shit show. Like both fighters, there's so many outcomes. Either one could finish because they gas or like just make mistakes, and it could easily go to decision and be very tepid.
Yeah, in that third round against Jandarova, I think she lost the round too, which is not a very good thing, What is up, George? Thank you for joining us. Kristen in the house. Thank you for joining us, Kristen. Joe C, what is up, my man? What else? You know what I like about this chat, man? Look at hello. She says hello to Das Files. They're all chatting. Das Files saying what's up to George. You know, it's a family thing in here, man. That's what I like. Look at this. Look at this. They're hitting pounding fists there. 9-year age difference here. Just saying, yeah, that's a factor. I agree with you. You know, Vidal is much younger here at 25. You know, you don't want to see a girl making her debut at 34. Like, that's not very good. It's a bad sign. But yeah, I mean, that's not a great thing. I just, you know, when you watch tape, I just honestly don't see it with this Vidal chick, man. I don't see it. Like, yeah, if she gets her to the ground and she gets to work her there, yeah, it's possible. But if this is on the feet, man, I really don't see this girl covering this price. I don't. Viva Mexico, says George, round 3. I don't know about that. I don't know. We're getting a little crazier. I don't know if Montserrat Randone can finish. That's the thing. Like, looking at her career,
it's based on the gas, man. I'm telling you, I don't disagree if Vidal gas is pretty bad. I mean, like, I just think that it would be based on probably her trying to grapple and not being successful, and then maybe she gasses like that. But I don't know. I don't 40 to 1's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think she's gonna have better cardio. I'll say it right away. I think Montserrat Randone is in better shape. She's gonna have better cardio if this fight prolongs. But enough of that nonsense, Tim. Moving on, fight number 2. It's some more nonsense, though, we're getting into. It's in the strawweight division. It is the 14-6 Mizuki Inaway versus the 6-3 Hannah Goldie. I'm like torn on this fight, honestly. You know why? Because I put Inaway in a parlay with a guy from Bellator, and I feel like she should beat Hannah Goldie. Like, Hannah Goldie is not good. She's just not good. And then I watched some of these fights with Inaway, and it's like, okay, she looked good against Lamos in the loss, right? It's fine. It's Lamos. She's very physical. She's a hard hitter. Fine. She looked good in the loss, right? And that was 3 years ago, exactly. But then she looked like shit against Yanan Wu in a split decision that she barely won, right? Then I go back to this Jandiroba fight, and I just can't wrap my head around how this was a split decision. Jandiroba's absolutely mauling her with the grappling, and somehow this fight is called a split decision. If anybody watched that, I can't come up with that split decision. Like, this is an easy Jandiroba win. Jandiroba has very good submission grappling. Her wrestling is questionable at best, right? She was probably Khabib's sister in that fight because takedowns were coming like at will. So it's like, what does Inaway do that's really good on tape? And I honestly can't find it. Like, she has a lot of submissions, but against, I don't know, people in Japan, girls in Japan, nobodies, 1-1 girls, you know. The thing is, like, she's hard to finish. She's tough. Those are good things about her. But we've said this before. Toughness is not really a best attribute in the sense that you're getting your ass kicked and you're surviving. Like, that's not a good thing. So I'm really torn here, honest to God. I am. I think Inaway has a chance to maybe get a sub here if she gets on top in good positions. It's plus 340. Just that Goldie has not really fought any good grapplers. Like, when I look at her record, like, none of these girls are good grapplers. None. And it's like, okay, well, maybe now that she faces a decent to good grappler, maybe there's a chance she gets sub. But I don't know, man. This Inaway line is extremely shady at minus 3 something. Like, I just, even against Hannah Goldie, I just don't see it. I don't see why this line. Hannah Goldie might be the better striker for all I know in these two girls. So, sub plus 340 is probably my least favorite fucking play out of any of these Lambos that I've given in months and months. So there's that. What do you have here?
Yeah, I mean, if I were playing the sub, I would just play ITD. It's plus 260 or plus 250. And the reason is just because like Goldie she's got some quit in her. Like she's got some ability. I mean, like she just doesn't. I just don't like have a lot of belief in that she's in the game for the right reasons, and she's an OnlyFans, and she's an OnlyFans fade, and I've enjoyed fading her. I just think that like Mizuki like by KO is plus 1,600. KO2 is 47-1, and FanDuel KO3 is 55-1 on DK. And if you want to just do round 2, round 3 is plus 950, plus 1,400 if you have the sub. Like I just think that those are good plays because I just feel like if she gets her game off, I mean, like most likely it's a decision. Most likely she probably grinds her out. Maybe get some grappling, or maybe we see a decision. But like 16-1 on a fighter that's going to want to try to get the fight to the ground too, and could grapple, fuck, and get a mount position or get something where instead of choosing the choke, she's just like Hannah's just shelling up, and you never know with women's MMA. Like so, 16-1 KO, and then match that up with ITD. Don't hate late round on it, like trying to break her. I don't think she's going to finish her in round 1.
Yeah. I mean, if she gets to advantageous position, ground and pound, it's fine. I don't think she has a single KO in her career.
Not at all. Yeah, that's why you got to kind of like hope for a back take or something.
This is a shit show back to back. You know what?
We got a few here.
I got something for you. Do not come on Spaces tomorrow. Cook your steaks for these 2 first fights. Have them ready for fight number 3, because that's the main event of Twitter. Let's see what else we have. Hey, only Fade's Fade did not work there. Aileen Perez, baby. You forgot that one. Hannah did get dropped. Yeah, but Balbita has hands, man. Balbita has hands. Like, she can throw. This chick doesn't have hands in a way, honestly. I don't know. She's very, very – look at this. Knee surgery at 2. 3 years off knee surgery. She was training at fucking Longo, and then she went to Japan. I have no idea what's going on with this chick. Glenbot says Goldie, KO. Honestly, I think KO is more possible from Goldie than it is. I'm not even kidding. I just feel like she's a little more physical. I don't know why. Maybe it's the gun show. Speaking of gun show, Patrick is in the house, addicted to combat. What is up, my man? Look at Kristen. Kristen, go at him, please. Tell him what's up. This is bullshit. 112 and only 30 likes. I mean, what are these fucking people doing? Talking about OnlyFans Fade and not pressing the fucking like button. Unbelievable. All right. Fight number 3, Tim. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the nice and lean 13-9 Jake Collier versus the 9-2 Muhammad. You're not like your brother Usman. What do you like here, Tim?
I tell you what, like we've been talking about shit shows. This is number 3 shit show in a row. Like these fights, the amount of variance and the amount of just like, what could potentially happen in all 3 of these first fights, it's unbelievable. Like it's so wide. I think Collier having a 2-pack now, the top of, you can see the top. He's got like a little 2-pack up at the top. He's been doing some abs. He's lost like 10 pounds, and the bottom's still like a pony keg, but like he's got a 2-pack up top, so it looks good. Putting in some work. I think he knows he's been losing because he's been collapsing later in fights. So yeah, I think I just think striking wise, I think Collier's just fucking so much better striker than Usman. I think striking wise, he's also more durable. I just think Collier's just made mistakes over his last couple fights, and he got robbed in a couple. So I just feel like this is a good spot if he can keep the fight standing. If he can't keep the fight standing, he's shown to be not good and to quit. I feel like it's possible that either guy could finish either guy, but I'm going to go with the Collier round 2. I think it's round 2. I think, man, maybe round 2, maybe round 3, but I would lean round 2. We'll go. I think the sub is an interesting line too. I think that he's got Moy's Noise, and on Twitter always says he's got those fishpole arms. So I love that. It's fucking hilarious. So yeah, I think I lean KO. I think it lean KO for what would happen, but I do think that the sub is interesting because it's not like he has like terrible jiu-jitsu. I think he's got pretty for a heavyweights. He's got okay jiu-jitsu. So if he's in a good position, or if Usman makes kind of a shitty concussed attempt at a takedown, then he might be able to connect on a front choke. But I'll just go safe with like round 2. I think that's going to be the round. I think maybe round 3, but. If he if he gets him like early and he shows like really in the first round, like he's his takedown defense and his defense on the cage is really solid. Like I'll be looking to like bet live, and I'll be looking to I just think if you'll see early if Usman's going to be able to get him down easily or not. I don't think like Usman's going to have I think he's going to be one of his better rounds if he's successful wrestling. So I just think like. Collier would be the side. I've had a lot of pain betting on this dude, so might as well throw some more money at it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I took Collier, man. I took Collier pre. I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, he could get Collier down, but I think Collier's a little bit better than Tafa is on the ground. And
for sure.
Tafa managed to get up a little bit there early, and I could see Collier getting up early against Usman. It's not like if he takes him down, it's over early. The thing is, I just think Jake, like listening to some of his interviews, like him saying he's driving 2 hours for 4 weeks, going up against D1 wrestlers every single day. I kind of believe him. Like he lost a decent amount of weight, right? Kind of believe that he was doing that. Now, am I basing my bet completely on that? No. I'm basing my bet on a couple of things. When I watched the Boudet fight, right, I think he's winning that fight up until he does that stupid takedown attempt, and he's on the bottom now, and he loses the fight, right? He won round 1, clearly. He lost round 2, and then he was winning round 3 up until that shit happened. So it's like, yeah, he has bad cardio, but he has manageable cardio is what I call it. He doesn't die completely. Right? He died in the Barnett fight, yes. But in the Barnett fight, he tried to kill him, dude. He tried to go for it, and he died himself later on because he gassed out. He's been 3 rounds. He's been robbed a couple of times, in my opinion. Like Arlovsky fight, he got robbed. I think even the Felipe fight he won, he got robbed.
Both of them.
He's been in the heavyweight division. He's been to decision 4 different times. It's not like this guy's not been a decision. He just dies every single time. I think the Boudet loss, in hindsight now, looks not bad. Like, who would you take, Boudet or Usman?
Oh, Boudet for sure.
All day. So that loss, yeah, he did a fucking mistake at the end. But I also think Boudet has better cardio than fucking Usman. Usman, I think, might have worse cardio than Collier.
If Usman can't get his grapple game on, he's just cooked.
He might die.
Yeah, he's just totally cooked. Like he's one of those and his grapple game isn't that great. So like also what you're saying about his top game, like if he gets him down, it's not like he's got a dangerous ground. He doesn't do shit. Like he does fuck up. Yeah, he has no jiu-jitsu whatsoever, and then he does like maybe a little bit of ground and pound, just enough to like keep you down.
Tafa's a 0 on the ground, literally a 0, and he couldn't do shit. He just laid in there and laid in half guard. There was points where he could have passed him out easily, just decided to sit there. I mean, I don't know, bro. This guy to me is not very good at all. He's not deserving of a fucking minus number next to him at all. I don't care what his wrestling looked like against Tafa. Go back and watch him, against Brandon Sales. Go back and watch him in fucking tough, man. Against that Eduardo Perez guy who's god awful. He won the split, and I don't even know if he won that fight, to be honest. And whatever. I'm gonna go with the more proven guy in Collier. I'm gonna take KO. I think he's gonna stop him. It could be any one of the rounds, Tim. Honestly, the thing with Collier is he puts it on you, man. He throws a bunch of volume, and yeah, he might not have 1 punch knockout power, but he's throwing hands, and
that's why I think it's 2 or 3.
But yeah, it's very possible. Sean, what is up, my friend? Who are y'all confident? We're going to talk about that. We're going fight by fight, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I like Collier. Still has confidence to talk shit. Yeah, I mean, he was talking shit. I guess because he didn't shake his hand. He went to shake his hand, and this guy wouldn't shake his hand. So he's like, "Hey, just because you don't fight like your brother. Just because your brother's Usman or whatever, you don't fight like him." He told him or some shit like that. It was pretty funny. What else do we got here? Anything? Holy cow! There's a lot of fucking comments here. Usman is already 34. Yes, he is.
Yeah, no parlays unless the likes are over 100, guys.
He's actually in Vegas. He was training a lot of his camp, some of it in Florida and some of it in Vegas. That's what I came out with. He didn't do a lot at Fortis. I don't think so, at least.
Did you hear what I said, Narco?
What? Sorry?
I said I told the chat that if we don't get over 100 likes, then we're not doing the parlays at the end.
Yeah. That's on Mushroom MMA because he loves those Lambo parlays. So he better start getting to work over there in chat. Moving on. Fight number 4. It is in the middleweight division. It is a 7-2 Jacob Malcon versus the 8-5 Cody Brundage. This is another one. I mean, what the fuck's going on with these first 4 fights? I mean, Jacob Malcon, I'm going to put this out there, being minus 670, some folks, is just hysterical, dude. Like, it's just not it. Like, why is this guy minus 670? For what? Now, if you want to talk about guys, honestly, this is something I will tell everybody from a betting, like I'm betting professionally, doing it full time for the past year and a half, 2 years. Guys, this is what's called a market overreaction. 100%. This is it. If you want to look at any fight and look at a market overreaction, it's this one right here. Because listen to me. This guy a year ago against Nick Maximov, who's pretty similar to Cody Brundage, right? Style-wise, a wrestler. But I do give Brundage more power than Maximov has, man. That's for sure, right? Was even money. The line was plus 115. Even money on a fight a year ago against Maximov. Now let's even take it a little further. In that fight, Maximov, even though it doesn't say on UFC stats, dropped Malcon in round 1. Okay? And then, and subsequently in that, sometime in that round, in the middle of the round, Maximov blew his knee out, his ACL or MCL, one of the things. He blew it out in that fight. And then Malcon took over after that because this guy was fighting on one leg. Literally, you could see it. He's wincing. He's holding his leg. He's falling down to the ground. Okay, no problem. Now, Malcon wins that fight. He doesn't even stop him in that fight, albeit a guy with one leg. Now, we go on the Brundage side, and you look at Brundage, and yeah, was it a bad loss to Cedric Dumas? 100%. Stupidest fight IQ in that fight. That fight is probably, I had a bet on Dumas. That fight is probably different if he's not jumping guillotines, right? It's probably a different fight. He probably wins that fight, okay? But he decides to jump guillotine a couple of times, loses position, and loses that fight by decision. Fight before that, Rodolfo Vieira, right? I mean, Rodolfo Vieira's on Queer Street in round 1. If that's fucking, let me ask you something. If that's Malcon, is he surviving that? I don't think so. He's not surviving that. That beatdown in round 1, right? What does he do in that fight, Tim? He jumps guillotine again. And he gets submitted by one of the best submission grapplers in the world, right? My point is, why is Malcon minus 670 now? Where? From what did we see that made Malcon minus 670? Please tell me, guys. Because if somebody has something on tape that they see that they want to say, okay, this is why he's 670, I'll agree with you. You could show me it. But he lost round 1 to Dobson and got rocked, right? He lost round 1 to what's his name? Huh?
No, he lost
No,
he
they
was
gave him
30-27. Unanimous
They gave him
30-27.
round one. They gave him round one, but in my eyes, he got dropped. If Maximov doesn't blow his knee, he loses that round 100%. But he blew his knee and got on top of him. The point is, this line's way off, guys. I'm being completely honest. I hate Brundage more than the next guy. I cannot stand the guy. Not that as a person, he's a great person. His fight IQ is just god awful. He doesn't think properly. He's going for too many guillotines when he shouldn't. He's a good wrestler. You shouldn't be fucking going for guillotines like that, right? So, for me here, I'm going to go with round one on Brundage in general. It's crazy number on Bet Rivers, guys. Listen to this. It's plus 1,700 on Bet Rivers. Just round one. This guy hurts a lot of people in round one. And Malcon has a very, very iffy chin. I'm going to take a shot on plus 1,700, and KO1 is plus 2,400. So there you go for that one.
I have it as a second little like, hey, if you're on Cody, I'm not on Cody, but if you're on him, man, yeah, round one KO plus 2,500, round one sub plus 3,800, or just do that for plus 1,700. Yeah, man, like I think his win equity is in round one, and I don't see much beyond that. Like, but like you're saying, like I kind of agree on the money line. Like, it's overcorrection on market. It's a double market overcorrection. It's an overcorrection on Brundage as well as on Malcon. So I agree on that 100%. I think that Malcon, also the reason why it's kind of like just people are looking at it, parlaying him and like just, oh, hey, he's the lock this week. Because like in a grappling match, grappling is way less like volatile than, you get two strikers going in there. Like you'll get you don't agree?
No. Dixon's comment is hilarious. Nowhere near as close. Okay. Unexplained. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So no, I just think like you get a grappler. If you get a grappler that's a little better than another grappler, it's like way, way, way more like dependable than a striker who's a little bit better than another striker. Like, and so I think like Malcon's ability to completely wrestle fuck this guy and just, get him to kind of give up on the ground is way more likely to me than Brundage like catching him. So, but I think Malcon also just is one of those guys that has not shown at all to like have a killer instinct when he gets these guys down, and he just holds and doesn't go for subs and doesn't go for ground and pound much. So like, I'm prepared to lose on Malcon violence props here today, but like I just think like Malcon sub is like the, or not sub, Malcon by points is like the kind of like general way I would think that the fight would go. But it's like both guys are, I think Brundage has some quit in him, and I feel like Malcon doesn't have much finish in him. So it's like this fight's kind of weird in that sense. So I will lean on the Malcon late 2 or 3 plus 500 plus 1,000. I would lean by KO, but I don't know. I just think maybe a ground and pound is possible. I've had his sub props before, and he just hasn't done anything to get a sub. So yeah I think plus 500 plus 1,000 on 2-3 for Malcon aren't bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you guys good info. Honestly, this line's crazy. It really is. From my betting experience, this is just a stupid line. And no, Dixon, that's not the same, bro. That's not the same. You honestly think the UFC cares about Malcon to give him a layup?
Versus Mitchell?
Malcon is the most boring motherfucker out there.
Brundage beat Tresean Gore.
Yeah, it's like come on, bro.
Man, like
it's not the same thing. UFC loves Rosas. Like Rosas a finisher. He's 18. Did you hear what Dana said about Rosas? He said he got 3.3 million views, more than the main event did in his press conference when he was talking. Right? It's completely different, Dixon. It's not overthinking it, bro. It's not overthinking it. You have to play money line. It's a value bet on Brundage at this price. This price is insane.
If he doesn't get it, it's just like what happened. You got to think of like what happens if his main path isn't there. Like, and then you're looking at a line and you're saying, all right, minus 700. What happens if his main path doesn't work for whatever reason? It's like, dude, -7, you're going to be absolutely shitting your pants. And what the value? There's no value on the line. Like
he's been grapple fucked one time, and I wouldn't even call it grapple fuck because it was kind of a little bit back and forth. He got taken down by Maximov a good amount of times,
a bunch of times. Yeah.
But he took that fight on like fucking 3 days notice, literally 3 days, 3 or 4 days. I can't remember. It was a really short notice fight, and he was still grappling in round 3. Like they were back and forth. It's a high paced grappling fight. They're just grappling, right? Like. Yes, I see a scenario where Malcon can take him down, grapple him. But you don't see a scenario where Malcon can stuff takedowns? Where Brundage can stuff
takedowns. Right.
Let me tell you guys, AJ Dobson stuffed all his takedowns in round 1. He didn't get a single takedown.
Yeah, it's not like he's doing like a super he like
Who's
fucking
the better wrestler?
Single leg. Single leg, run the pipe. Single leg, run the pipe. If you can defend a single leg, you're good. Like it's not like he's doing like complex wrestling. It's like fucking seriously. I'm with you. Like if you're defending a single leg solidly, and it's just I think eventually he's probably going to get him down. But like you're saying, like round 1, and if he doesn't,
Razak doesn't have any defensive wrestling.
Nothing whatsoever for Al Hassan. No.
Brundage is a wrestler, Dixon. You're missing the point, bro. You're missing the point.
Brundage had what did he had?
Listen, Malcon is going to probably win. I'm not saying he not. This line is off, whether you like it or not. This is not a real line, bro. This is a cuckoo line. People are getting cuckoo with this narrative. Oh, Brundage looked like shit against Dumas. He pulled the guillotine. Let's make it -700 with Malcon, who can't finish his fucking lunch. He couldn't finish a one-legged fighter last time. A one-legged fighter in Maximov. He couldn't finish him. So, I don't know, man. This is a extremely weird one. Like I said, I'm going to go round 1 plus 1,700. Enough. We killed this fight. I do think Malcon wins the fight. I just don't think this line is right. Moving on. Fight number 5 in the welterweight division. It is the 32-15-1 Tim Means versus the 16-7 Andre Fialo. What do you got here, Tim?
Oh man! Every once in a while, I look at a fight and I go like, all right, I think that this could happen, and then you look at the my natural side of oh my God, is Ferguson? Is that real? Is that real? Ferguson versus Patty?
I don't know,
dude. I'm telling you, they're trying to like kill. They're trying to actually put him 6 feet under. So all right, probably gonna happen. Yeah, I think this fight is kind of weird. Like, I'm really interested to hear what you think on this fight. Like, I think that there's like a bunch of ways that this fight could go. Like, I don't know. I don't know how each one of these fighters is going to come out. They fight very inconsistently. You don't like. I haven't liked the way that Means has looked recently. His last few fights, he seems to be slowing down a lot. Seems to be not taking damage as well. Fialo usually comes out really hot. Last fight didn't. Was way more reserved. Comes out like just coming. I would say like 50% less aggressive in the first round than he normally would. And so I just think like this fight is. I don't think Means is like a guy that you're like is easy to KO. Like he's not an easy guy to like hurt on the feet. He's super tall. He's long. And he can be hit, but I think it's hard to like KO him. He's usually a guy that gets concussed or goes for takedowns and then gets subbed by guys that have like a good jiu-jitsu game. So, and I don't think that that's Fialo. I mean, again, this Fialo by sub is an astronomical line. So if you like the just a method, like the method of just like how this guy does usually loses, it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, he usually loses that way, but it's usually you have to have some skill in that realm. I like end split, man. Plus 800. I like Fialo by split, 16-1. His 2 decision wins that he has, his only decision wins that he has are both one is a majority split and the other is a split. I think it's very possible that this fight could like be 2 guys that are going at each other, having some good moments. Each moment's, damaging the guy, maybe not being able to finish him. I think even a draw is possibly live in this fight. Like I think somebody could get a 10-8 and then the other get 2 rounds, but both live. I know it's not the way that most people are seeing the fight go, but I think it's possible that it could be just a slobber knocker if they don't finish each other in round 1 or 2. I think round 3 could be just an ugly ass round 3, and then who knows. So I like those plays. I like end split plus 800, Fialo by split 16-1, and then draw 50-1.
Yeah, man. I think this fight's over. That's what I was trying to point to. I think this fight goes over. Just watching Fialo's last fight against Buckley, he was completely different than how he's fought before. Like, and then some people will say, well, he was kind of different maybe because it was Buckley, and Buckley hits hard, blah, blah, blah. He's coming down from middleweight and all this other stuff. But, he was in the fire against Michel Pereira, and Michel Pereira can turn your lights out too. And Fialo was just slugging it out there. He wasn't taking it easy. And all these other fights, like he's just going at them. And that fight against Buckley is just completely different. Fialo, obviously, he got caught with a head kick, but that fight was looking like it was cruising to go to the decision, honestly. And no one thought in their right minds that goes to decision, right? Tim Means, like you said, hard to be killed. Gets hurt and then gets sub. I don't think Fialo has sub equity in him, honestly. I never even seen him go for a sub.
Nope.
Does he even know how to?
I've never seen him on tape. So
I don't think he might have one sub win in his career. Maybe one. Yeah, one. And that was, who knows when, back in Portugal in the regional scene. So he got a sub there in the regional scene in Portugal, but that's about it. I don't think he's going to sub Tim Means. Can I interest you in some Fialo decision here at plus 650?
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a good line, man. I think he's the cleaner striker. I think he's the faster guy. He's the younger guy. I think he needs a W. And we see when guys are in their last fight of their fight contract, they play it safe, Tim. And this guy's been knocked out 3 straight fights. You would think the game plan's guy. Listen, Andre, you've been knocked out. Tim Means a little dangerous, even though he doesn't have a lot of knockouts. They're a long time ago. Let's use our speed. Let's use our better technical striking and just outstrike this guy. Don't overthrow. Don't get taken down. All these good things. And just beat this guy up. Leg kick. Do all those good things and win a decision. I feel like that's how this fight's going to play out. It's plus 650, man. Plus 650 by decision. And honestly, this guy is 2-2 in decisions. And when you watch the Pereira fight, man, that's a very, it does say unanimous. That's a very, very close fight, honestly. A lot of people actually gave it to Fialo there. A lot of people thought Fialo won that fight. And so because of that, Tim Means is not a guy that's going to blow your top off, guys. He just isn't. He's just not. Can he win a decision? Sure. But Max Griffin beat him in a decision too. I'm going to take Fialo here, plus 650 by decision, Tim.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. It goes along with what I'm saying. Goes along with the ends by split. I did Fialo by split, so obviously I should have that in line with that too. But I didn't know it was that good. That's fucking great.
Yeah, Tim is a big guy. He's a big guy. He's 6'2". He's not a little guy, but he's, the age gap here is insane. It's 10 years. It's a very, very big age gap. So you need to be careful with that age gap here. Moving on. Fight number 6. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 13-2 Miles Johns versus the 9-1 Dan Arretta. I think it's me here, right, Tim? Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny. We're talking about decision wins, right? Going right back to the well here. And I'm taking the guy that people don't think might win this decision, but I like Miles Johns to win here by decision, Tim. And here's why. Has he looked bad in round 3s? Yes, absolutely. Against John Castaneda, he did not look good. Got finished in that fight. Got finished in the second round against Mario Batista. But honestly, outside of that, he hasn't really looked that gassed like you would think. People make him out to be a gasser, but he hasn't really gassed out that bad. The difference between what I see with Castaneda and what I see with Arretta is that Castaneda has very good hands, very good kicks, and very good ground game. Arretta has just kind of like wrestling in the ground game, right? Those things Miles Johns can keep up with. He can keep up with the wrestling. He's a good wrestler. It's going to be hard to take this guy down early. And historically, Miles Johns does really well in round one. He's a round one winner. And to top it all off, Tim, this is the icing on the cake. Miles Johns is a perfect 7-0 in decisions. And that's why, my friend, I am taking him here by decision. He's the more experienced fighter. Arretta looked like he had a very, very rough weight cut. He did not look as thick and big as he usually does. His weight cut was rough, man. Very, very rough. And so, same guy up a weight class, obviously. Lost the decision to Damon Jackson. Looked good in round 3, but still lost the decision. Went to split against Diego Silva. Let's not forget all those things, So Miles Johns by decision plus 325. I think both guys are pretty tough. They're hard to get out of there. Obviously, Miles Johns gasses in a couple of fights, but historically, he's not really a gasser, man. I have no idea what's been going on with him of late. But I mean, this guy's been 3 rounds, fucking multiple times, went 5 rounds against Adrian Yanez in the amateurs. Like, in the regionals, I don't understand how this guy's cardio just kind of looks bad in a couple of these fights. But yeah, Miles Johns by decision plus 325.
We got our first dissension here. I think we've agreed on pretty much every fight how they could go. I actually like Arretta here. I think I don't want to put too much weight in some of these wins or losses, but I thought the last fight being stopped by Keith Peterson being as drunk as we've ever seen him in the ring against Ronnie Lawrence. I think that was a really good showing, really good. You can just see the tenacity, and somebody said in the chat, he's a fucking pit bull on a bone. I agree. He's got some serious dog in him, and I feel his wrestling is it's not his wrestling. His striking is very just set it wrestle box style. Just get overhand right and get crash pocket so he can actually get into range to get you down. So is he hittable? Of course. That's how he does his game plan. He's trying to get close to you so he can get you down. I think having a smaller cage is going to help him out a lot here. I think John's, you're saying, I feel a fight where he's striking only, I feel he doesn't gas as bad as in fights where he has to really grapple hard and has to defend grappling. And I feel that's where Arretta is going to get him. I like round 2, round 3, plus 900, plus 1200. Don't hate sub for Arretta here. Sub 2 is plus 1700. Sub 3 is plus 2200. So I like late round props for him. I think eventually he gets him and catches him.
I see that. I see that too. It could happen with Johns. We don't know, but I just can't stand this guy's fucking striking. Honestly, he's striking. He crashes in the pocket way too much. Someone said it too. I don't like how he crashes in the pocket, and honestly, Johns has a lot of power. I didn't even mention that. He has power. He's not some complete scrub, on the feet. Yeah. Moving on, fight number 7. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 14-6-1 Charles Jordane versus the 16-4 Ricardo Ramos. What do you have here, Tim?
I think there's 2 ways I can see this fight going, kind of in my mind. I think if Ramos has a lot of success with takedowns, I feel Charles Jourdain can be subbed in this fight by him. But at the same time, when I was looking more and more into the fight, and I'm that was my first lean early in the week. And then there's a bunch of fights with Ramos against guys that are kind of flashier strikers that have just quick, just quick shots where it's not super predictable where it's coming from, and just it's not very technical 1-1-2. It's just you're looking at okay, I didn't expect this, and it's a little chaotic. He kind of struggles on those type of fighters. He's way more. He wants a much cleaner striking fight, And he's not going to get that with Jordane. So like, I just feel like Jordane's the kind of guy that like in these type of fights, I think eventually he's going to connect on something and maybe even connect on a club and sub. But I like 2-3 for Jordane eventually in this fight. I thought initially I would go with the sub with Ramos, but I think it's going to be like he even if he gets him down, I feel like he could probably stay safe enough to maybe get back up or like stay safe enough to get to the second or third round. And then I just feel like he's going to eventually connect on some kind of like flashy shot on him and then knock him the fuck out most likely.
Yeah. I'm on the Ramos side.
Okay.
I kind of feel like, I'll say this. Jordane is very durable. He's very tough. He always comes on late in fights in round 3. Hard to sub. I think he's good defensively. He's easy to take down. That's the one thing that is kind of a major flaw with him is he's easy to take down, but his sub defense is good. He's a high volume striker. He gets hit on the feet quite a bit. But both guys throw spinning shit. Like I've never seen one fighter land so many spinning elbows. Like Ramos just seems to always land spinning elbows, and he actually put a tattoo right here of like some kind of thing where he can fucking hit someone with an elbow. Here's the thing, like one guy's a better grappler for sure. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ricardo Ramos is the better grappler of the two. Jordane is probably the better striker with more volume. I would give him the edge there. The thing is, I think both guys are, I don't want to say Ramos is durable because I've seen him against Murphy quit a little bit, but he's also taken some big shots in other fights and push forward. Like he took a huge shot against, got rocked actually against Tugugov in that fight. And survived and came back, and actually made it a pretty close fight. But when you look at Charles Jordane, right, this is the thing. His knockouts, right, are attritional usually. Like Marcelo Rojo, it took him 3 rounds, and he finally finished him at the end of that fight, right? Outside of that, he has one other knockout against Du Ho Choi. That's it. He doesn't have any other knockouts, right? He's not really finishing folks, like Kron Gracie was a punching bag in front of him last fight. Couldn't finish him.
I think he was just staying safe in that fight. I think he could have. I think he easily could have, but I think he was just really specifically staying like, I don't want to take a chance to take.
But then like Julian Erosa is a guy you should probably KO, and he couldn't KO it, So it's like when I look at this guy, like he's more of an attritional finisher, and I just don't think he's going to be able to tag up Ramos like that on the feet because Ramos is pretty good on the feet as well, So I think there's going to be some grappling. I think Ramos is going to get some takedowns. It's fucking plus 340 by decision on Ramos. I don't think he can finish him. That's the thing. I don't think he can finish Jordane. I think Jordane's extremely durable. Scorecards, maybe no action on Jordane might be a thing. I don't know what the number is. I haven't even actually looked at it. But I think that might be pretty decent bet, I would say, because I see most of the finishing equity on one side, honestly. I find it hard I know he can backpack. But Jordane does defend those things really well. I don't think he's going to be able to sub it. Let me see what scorecards no action is here.
I kind of think with a back take or something. I think he could get him on a choke, but he's got to get a really good position. But I do feel like he might be able to do that, like on the ground.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, he can. When I look at like he's got one submission win in the UFC, and that was against
Scrub
Edward Aragori, who sucks. Doesn't, and he's had a lot of good positions on the back of people, and just. He has one. I mean, am I going to think he's going to get it here? Yeah, possibly. But again, I'm back to the decision prop, man. That's 3 in a row. It's plus 340 on Ramos. I think he's the minute winner, honestly. I think because of the grappling, because of the wrestling. And if you look at stats, and when Ramos decides to grapple, I mean, dude, this guy took Bill Algeo down 8 times. Like, he can fucking grapple when he wants to grapple, you know. And I'm not saying Alger has the best takedown defense, but, you know, he's got 3 against Journey Newsome. You know, if he wants to grapple, he can grapple. And Jordane, he's got 48% takedown defense, guys. It's not good. His takedown defense sucks. So plus 340 decision. Let's move on. Blabbing too much today. Fight number 8. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 9-2 Brian Battle versus the 10-2 AJ Fletcher. And I have an AJ Fletcher bet here. Money line bet. I'm gonna give a decision bet again, Tim. Believe it or not, 4 in a row. Back on my horse on AJ Fletcher though, at plus 550. I think he's fighting at altitude now, training at altitude. I think he's the round 1 winner at a big percentage of the time. We saw him hurt Ange Lusa very bad in round 2 and then proceed to gas out, right, and lose round 3. Now, Ange Lusa, physical guy, hard to take down. I really don't see that with fucking Brian Battle. I think he's easy to take down. Does he work back up? Yes, sure. Does he have good front chokes? Yes. But he's easy to take down. And as explosive and as powerful and as athletic as AJ Fletcher is, I don't think he has a problem with getting takedowns. So I'm going to go back to the well, man. Fletcher decision plus 550. I have a money line. I have plus 3.5 on him as well. I like Fletcher in this spot. I think people are underrating Fletcher and overrating a little on the Brian Battle side. What do you have here?
I have the same thing, man. I have AJ points. AJ split plus 550 plus AJ split is plus 1600. The only thing that you said I do agree is possible is, like, I kind of see, like, if Battle is trying to go for front chokes to defend takedowns in this fight, like, it could be really, like, great for us on the decision prop. And then he just, like, he gets up and then he just keeps trying to, like, sub him and then just keeps getting taken down. Whereas if he's trying to actually defend takedowns, I think it's much, much, much better for the Battle side. So I think, like, it is possible that Battle could sub him with a front choke for sure. Like, I think it's very, very live. So I don't think that AJ is, like, super defensively responsible when he's going for his takedowns. I think he just goes for maul takedowns and just, like, tries to maul you to the ground and overpower you and use his strength and physicality. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. I think AJ points is plus 550 is great. Split for him is plus 1600. I think, like, if he loses some of the striking and maybe gets, hit a little bit before he goes for takedowns, like, it's possible. So you could probably have some minutes that are being won by Battle, and then you get some moments for AJ and maybe a later or mid-round takedown, and that just kind of mixes up the fight a little bit for him. So those are great lines. Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Let's move on here, Tim. The fight that everybody didn't want to see. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 16-3-2 Marina Rodriguez versus the 18-11 Michelle Waterson Gomez. It's your turn, Tim. You can have this.
I can't wait. Yeah, I think this fight's like you said, I don't really know what we're doing here. This is a rematch, right? Yeah, like this is. I don't understand why we're doing this match. It's like you rematch good matches, right? Like good fights that people want to see again. What is the reason for why they're doing this one again? Do you know any reason?
I have no clue. To give us a piss break in between these fights.
This is definitely the second Wagyu time for me. This will be my second steak of the night. Yeah, end split plus 450, probably not going to hit. Probably Rodriguez by decision, but plus 450 on a fight that maybe there's a little bit of grappling success for Waterson. Probably not, but I don't know. I mean, maybe like the same thing, like Waterson sub plus 950. Maybe she has incredible success grappling and Marina falls or something. Probably not, though. Again, she probably is able to stay safe, and she hasn't been subbed by people who are better than Waterson. So this fight probably goes, and it's probably Marina decision. But yeah, I'll just do end split, because it's not good. Minus 150 or something like that. So end split plus 450, probably not going to win. Don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same play. I mean, there's nothing else here. I don't like anything. I hate this fight. Marina kind of dominated her the first time, but Waterson did say, I don't know if you heard her interview, it was hilarious. She says, so I contacted, after my whatever loss it was, she contacted the judges and she spoke to one judge and she asked them, well, what are you guys looking for exactly? Because I need to know in my fight so I could do exactly what you guys are looking for. So apparently she had a talk with judges and now she knows what she has to do because she didn't before. She said before, I did not know. What I thought I knew was not accurate. So apparently that judge told her, no, that's not what we're looking for. So who knows? Maybe she grapples and just lays on top and somehow wins here. But this fight is terrible. Split decision, whatever. I don't like anything. I don't even like the split because I think probably Marina wins easily. But move on. Co-main event of the night, Tim. This is a pretty good fight here. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 15-1 Bryce Mitchell versus the 17-6 Dan Ige. The problem with this fight, Tim, is I really can't find the prop that I like. I can't. I don't know what prop. I feel like Mitchell's gonna win. I feel like the small cage helps Mitchell. I feel like he gets takedowns, but he's not gonna finish Ige because really no one finishes Ige. He's very hard to finish. The only way I've seen anybody finishing is maybe Ige KO. It's like 450. But like there's nothing else here. Like, what am I gonna give? What are we gonna give people? Ige by decision, 460, right? I can't give you anything with Mitchell because I honestly don't think he's gonna sub him. I don't think he's. If I give you decision on Mitchell, it's fucking negative number. So I don't know, man. Maybe go with like a KO on fucking Ige plus 450. I mean, that's the only thing I feel this week, man. That's the only thing that I think can happen. And even that, I think, is a very low outcome, honestly, because I think Mitchell gets in on the hips and gets takedowns. So, yeah, the earth is flat. Exactly. And I really don't know what to do here. What do you have, Tim? Help me out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a possibility for a CTE-induced submission from Ige. I think he's got 5 subs, and I think that he could bonk. I think he could bonk Bryce, and Bryce is he's not a believer in gravity, so I feel like there's a chance that maybe he just floats right into that choke. I feel like Ige's got tremendous power, but he's also a guy that has grappling that's pretty solid. I don't feel like his takedown defense is poor. I think his stats on his defense for his takedowns are skewed by fighting Mosvar. And anytime you fight Evelev, your takedown defense percentage goes down by 20% usually the next fight. So that's all that happened in that fight. I feel like I do agree that the small cage will help him in cutting him off, but I also feel that like it's going to potentially produce the 50K Ige where he's like, yeah, I'm going to counter the fuck out of you the second you try to crash on me. So I just feel like that's really possible. I feel like a instant club sub situation. So I don't know any round. He could do it really at any round. I feel like his power is there in every round. So yeah, I think historically Ige finishes his KOs earlier and his subs later. So I think like, I'm just Ige sub plus 1600. I mean, CTE induced. Why not?
Yeah, I mean that's not the worst thing. We just saw a CT sub last time out, right?
You know who also subbed Bryce other than Ilya?
Yeah. My buddy Brad Katona on Tough.
I'm Brad Katona.
In round 3.
In round 3, yep.
Yeah. So CTE induced sub. Is that like plus 8,000 or 10,000?
Yeah, I mean, MGM CTE induced sub.
Just send them a note. Maybe they put it up. CTE induced sub.
I will be looking on DK at the same game parlay for the club sub on this fight. If they can show, when they'll show it, I think that's a good way to go.
Did you know this though?
Yeah, there you go.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So he went on fucking Twitter, made a video. It was the funniest thing ever. I'm watching this video of Bryce Mitchell, and dude, I'm literally in tears crying. It was so funny. He's pleading with his neighbors, please, if you hear this, friends, please, if you hear this, go to my house. My ex-girlfriend went to my house. She burned down all my cherry trees. She burned down all my fruit trees. She's psycho. She's this. She's going to kill my girlfriend. Please help me. I don't know what to do. Motherfucker, call the police if it's that bad. You're pleading with people on Twitter for your neighbors. You don't have your neighbor's number to call them. You're asking them on Twitter on a video. Dude, it's the funniest thing ever. It's like, bro, this guy does already have CTE. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, bro, she's that dangerous? Go call the fucking police. What are you pleading with your neighbors on fucking Twitter video to help you? Dude, he's like literally begging them, bro. He's like begging them on this video, dude. I'm like,
isn't he Arkansas? Is he from Arkansas?
Yeah, dude.
That's a whole different type of redneck right there.
Like a huge farm with fucking pigs and fucking donkeys and all types of animals. And this guy is fucking fucked in the head, honestly. He is well out there, way out there. So I might play that sub, man. Fuck it.
Did you say KO or did you say points for Ige?
I said KO. KO, but
don't hit it, yeah.
It could hit, honestly, KO. I mean, he's got a lot of fucking power, man.
Totally.
A lot of power. Go watch it, dude. Go watch that video. It is absolutely classic, guys. There's one thing you can take from this show today is go watch that fucking Bryce Mitchell video. It's so fucking funny. It's something out of a movie, man. All right, guys. 155 in here. How many likes do we have, by the way? I haven't asked.
I do not know if it's not 100.
Anybody, Mbae in the chat, can you help me out? How many likes do we have? Someone put it up. Or Tim is going to check it. No lies. We don't want to see any lies. Because Tim is right there. He's about to check it.
Checking right now. These fuckers.
How many likes, Mushroom? Tell me.
96, bro. 96.
96. Brutal, dude. Brutal.
I made it 97.
Oh, man. Shame on you guys.
Know. I don't even know.
Shame on you guys. And I know the girls.
50?
All the women in chat, they hit the like. I know that. It's the men. The men are fucked up. They're being selfish. Oh, we got 100, says Chris. 102.
Yeah, we need to get those shits up. We need to get them shits up.
All right. Time for the main event, guys. This is the fight. Honestly, great fight. Pay-per-view worthy fight. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 12-2 Rafael Fiziev versus the 22-2 Matthias Gamrot. Tim, floor is yours.
Great fucking fight here. Binary fight. Binary fights are so cool because you got to see like just some might be able to have their moments and it might go back and forth and sometimes it could just be utter domination. I really can't wait to see I just can't wait to see this fight, like just how it plays out and who's going to have success within their game style. Like I'm not super confident on either side, to be honest. You're going to see this bet these Lambo plays that I'm going to make here. I don't know if I've ever done this as a Lambo play before, but I do feel like this fight could be finished by either guy late. So like, I feel like either guy, if they get what their game is going the right way, I feel like it could take a while for them to finish the other guy, but I do feel like the finish could be totally there for either one of them in 3, 4, or 5. So I actually like fight ends in round 3, 4, or 5. So like 3 is plus 850, 4 is plus 1100, round 5 is plus 1300. I really, like I said, like I think that either one of these guys could fuck them up. I think like the Gamrot sub is a good line. If he gets his game on and he gets like he has a ton of wrestling success or even just 2 or 3 good takedowns where he gets a good position from the takedown, which is so important in the first few seconds. Like if he does that well in this fight, like that dude's he's a fucking beast jiu-jitsu wise. Like he's really fucking good. And Fiziev has not even defended a fucking submission yet in the UFC. So like we have no idea like what he looks like defending those. We know what he looks like defending takedowns, but I just don't know. If he's extremely successful, as we saw, like one of the best bets that we both made was Beneil versus Gamrot. Like I just think that that's this fight where you're like, dude, this is a monster if he can stop this takedowns and he can win the transitions, which he did, he's going to beat him on the feet. I also had Jalen Turner by split against Gamrot. I thought that was extremely live, like pretty fucking disgustingly high number. I thought looking back at that fight, I thought actually that's potentially like a one fight for Jalen. And I feel like with 2 more rounds, the type of striking that he was getting on Gamrot with Fiziev, I feel like he could connect and finish in that one. So yeah, give me a little long-winded on that one, but I think like fight ends in round 3, 4, or 5 are really good looks, either guy.
Yeah, man, very good fight. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, I have a bet on one side, and I have a bet on Fiziev, just because I think he wins round 1 at a pretty high clip. He's very hard to take down early, man. He's got very good takedown defense early when it's fresh. I don't think Gamrot's going to be getting him down early. He's got very good balance. Like, you could tell the guy is he's got really good balance. Like, Gamrot goes for single legs a lot. I just don't think he's going to get him down early when he's fresh. So I think he wins round 1. He's a much better striker. I think he might even win round 2, man. And the thing is, though, he can also knock out Gamrot, honestly. The problem with Gamrot is I know he's durable. I know his recoverability is really good. That's what kind of like sticks out to me. Like, he got hurt against Dariush, he recovered easily. Got hurt against Turner, recovered easily. He got hurt. I think in the Guram fight he got hurt as well, right? And he recovered pretty easily. But man, Fiziev hits hard, man, and those body kicks are nasty. And fuck, man, I feel like he's gonna knock out. Just have this like nothing that I'm saying. Like, Gamrot, I think, is extremely durable. It's just one of these feelings in this fight that I feel like he's gonna knock out Gamrot here, man. I think Gamrot's time for getting finished is here, man. He's never been finished in 24 fights. This guy's just a killer on the feet, man. He's got like really good striking. Not a lot of guys can finish. What's his name, man? And he finished him later in the fight. Like, put him out. Like, I've hardly ever seen, honestly, and he's been, don't get me wrong, he's been finished. But I've hardly ever seen
RDA was murdered in the fight. He murdered him. He murdered him in that fight.
Yeah, I've hardly ever seen RDA look like that. Like, the way he fucking put him out. Like, and RDA's been in fucking absolute wars. I mean, go back and watch the Felder fight, man. The shots he took in that fight. And the guys faced the best of the best, man. Edwards, Usman, all these fucking guys. And Ferguson when he was in his prime. Eddie Alvarez finished him, but that was like early on. I've never seen anybody finish him the way he did, like later in the fight. And I just feel like this is happening, man. It's plus 190. It's not a great number. It's probably more than likely, like, in the middle of the fight, like 2-3. Because I think it's also could be accumulation of damage too, right? He could be fucking him up early, and can he wrestle in round 3 and 4 after he fucked him up, right? That's got to be something else you guys got to think about. Like, this is a little different than Sarukian fight, right? Sarukian had success early. Sarukian doesn't really have hands. It's all fucking kicks.
If he kicks his leg, it would be really interesting to see if Fiziev invests really heavy in like the calf kick early. Like, just tries, you know what I'm saying? Like, just instead of like
Fiziev can fight both southpaw and orthodox.
Yeah,
like,
if you attack the front leg and you attack the calf kick on wrestlers, like primary wrestlers like this, it just completely fucks them up and gives them no drive even when they do get, like, it's a smart strategy. I'd be interesting to see if he does it.
I mean, it's an interesting fight. I think Fiziev KO plus 190. It's not like a hot take. It's not like some like crazy number. I just feel like, just think about it, right? Also, from a market perspective, right? We got a guy that's 24 fights in his MMA career, Tim. Faced really good guys, like high-level fighters, never been knocked out. Now he's facing Fiziev. And why is the line plus 190 only? by KO? Why is it so low?
They know.
Huh?
Because they know.
I don't want to say they know, but
it could be recency bias too. I mean, they could be banking it on the last fight, but I think that they're usually not interested in hanging a big line.
But why? Like even looking at Fiziev, like, okay, he didn't finish Alex White, he didn't finish Jacasey, he didn't finish Bobby Green, he didn't finish Justin Gaethje. You know, he barely finished Vidal and Dos Anjos towards the end of those fights. Why is it plus 190? Don't you think?
Against the guy that hasn't finished, yeah.
It's against a guy that's never been finished. You don't think that line is like way too low?
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's fishy. I mean, I think that line's really, really
What is
weird.
his decision? What is his decision prop?
It's not very good. I think it's somewhere in the same range, maybe 200s. Let me see here. I think it's in the 200s. Yeah. 270 is the best line. 275. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that wraps it up. All 11 fights, guys. 168 in here. Is that a record, Tim?
No, we've had close to 2.
Oh, we hit close to 2. All right, we're close. We're close. I like it. I love it. Daniel says betting MMA is his full-time job. Yeah, I don't believe it, Daniel. The way you talk, I don't believe it because this guy sucks. This guy is the worst. Dariush is the worst. Gamrot's the worst. I don't know who's good. If you're a professional bettor, you're saying the worst for some of the best fighters. It's pretty red flag, my friend. Hey, you got a red flag on you, Daniel. You're red flagged already. You're a red flag. Thank you, Bubbo. Appreciate you, my man. All right, Tim. You want me to go first this week, or you?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right, I got a burner here. It is my first leg is Miles Johns by decision, 325. Ramos by decision, 340. And Fialo by decision, 650. 139-1, Tim. Oof. We're shooting for the moon. And I feel like we're going to get there. What do you have here, my friend?
All right. I got Malcon KO 2-3 on FanDuel with Jordane KO 2-3 on FanDuel at 51-1. So just 2 legs.
Who's the other leg?
Jordane and Malcon.
Oh, I thought you said Brian Battle.
No.
I think that would be a good one too. Honestly, not bad.
Which one?
Battle 2-3 KO.
Yeah, don't hate it. Yeah.
Attritionally, you know. All right, guys. 11 plays, 2 Lambo parlays. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the notification button if you haven't. We blew past 2,000 subscribers. We're at like 2,030 something already, which is great. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much. Link down below to my merch store if you guys are interested in supporting. I don't have monetization still. I'm going to reapply in October because there was some snake that reported me for as a lie too, which is that's even the more annoying part. But either way, guys, thank you very, very much. Have a ton of plays for Bellator tomorrow. Have a lot of plays for UFC tomorrow. It's been really good today for LFA. I hit a plus 270. Very big bet on him. Hit another dog. So we're doing well. Thank you very, very much, everybody in chat, 160 of you. Without you guys, we don't have this channel. We don't have this show. So thank you very much. See you guys. Tim, sorry. I have to give the floor to my man because he's probably got some shit going on. What do you have, Tim? Sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. We go in tomorrow. Sean Orr and I are going to do the full card breakdown. Best bets, like the last best bets that we can see on all the lines having moved. And there's no real you're not getting CLV at this point. So, like, yeah, I just think it's exciting to get back with you guys and having some fun doing this.
Beautiful. Go watch that show tomorrow. Great guys, Tim Triano and Sean Orr on Twitter Spaces. Also, guys, you can follow me at NarcoCop on Twitter. And tomorrow, live spaces. I might actually start one for Bellator tomorrow. Bellator is early. I think UFC is a little later. We can just kind of transition right into the UFC. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Hit the like, subscribe like usual, and let's fucking cash those tickets.